Good morning and welcome to Round the Globe on Aneke TV. First, the headlines. Israel's security cabinet approves plan to take control of Gaza City. US offers $50 million reward for arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Thai tycoon and Chinese company charged over deadly Bangkok building collapse. Federal government dismisses 15 correctional personnel, demotes 59 over misconduct. WIAC urges candidates recheck their results after resolving glitches. I am Aneke. Now, the news in detail. Israel's security cabinet has approved a plan to take control of Gaza City. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has earlier said he wanted to take over all the Gaza Strip. The approved plan focuses specifically on Gaza City, the largest city in the enclave. Earlier, the UN warned that Israel expanding military operations risk catastrophic consequences for Palestinian civilians and Israeli hostages. The controversial escalation faces opposition with Israel, including by hostages' families, and is likely to further isolate the country internationally. Israel launched its war in Gaza following Hamas's 7 October 2023 attack, in which it killed about 1,200 people and took 251 hostages back to Gaza. Israel's massive military offensive has killed at least 61,158 Palestinians since then, according to Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry. Meanwhile, a former Middle East negotiator, Aaron David Miller, says Israel's push to occupy Gaza City will seriously harm Palestinians and put Israeli hostages at risk. Mr. Miller called the plan fantastical and extremely difficult to pull off, warning that the cost to hostages and Palestinian civilians in Gaza is going to be prohibitive. According to him, there is no way the Israelis can do this, operate without serious injury and death to the Palestinian population. Mr. Miller noted that Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu has the leeway to act. US President Donald Trump having acquiesced and Kenneth closed for summer, but he added that the Prime Minister lacks a path to victory. To the US, the United States has doubled the reward for information leading to the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to $50 million, accusing him of being one of the largest narco traffickers in the world. US President Donald Trump is a longtime critic of Maduro, who returned to office in January following an election marred by vote rigging allegations. The results were widely rejected by the international community. Attorney General Pam Bondi said the U.S. would double its already announced reward of $25 million and said Maduro was directly linked to drug smuggling operations. Venezuelan Foreign Minister Jan Gil said the new reward was pathetic and labeled it political propaganda. In Asia, Thai prosecutors have indicted 23 suspects, including a construction tycoon and a Chinese state-owned firm, for violations that led to the collapse of a building during a powerful earthquake, killing nearly 100 workers. The partially built 30-story state audit office tower in Bangkok was the only building to collapse from tremors emanating from the powerful 7.7 magnitude quake in neighboring Myanmar on March 28. At least 95 people were killed in the incident. The construction of the State Audit Office building was a joint venture between Italian Thai Development, one of Thailand's largest construction companies, and China Railway Number 10, Thailand Limited, a local unit of China's state-owned China Railway Group. Franchai Kanasuta, president of Italian Thai and an executive of China Railway Number 10 Thailand Limited, was formally charged along with 21 other suspects for breaching construction regulations and causing death through negligence, and Sakem Yakos, a spokesman for the Office of the Attorney General, in a statement. Some other suspects have also been charged with forging engineering documents, the statement said. Italian Thai Development did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. Now in Africa, Cameroon's Constitutional Council has upheld the decision by the country's electoral body to exclude opposition leader Maurice Kamto from the 12 October presidential election. While the firebrand political figure was sidelined, 92-year-old President Paul Biya, whose candidacy also faced opposition, was cleared to run for what would be his eighth term in the oil-rich Central African nation. If he were elected for another 7-year term, he would remain in power until he was almost 100. Kanto was ruled out because a rival faction of the Manidem party, which endorsed him, presented another individual as candidate, highlighting an internal squabble. His exclusion sparked outrage, with his lawyers describing the rejection of his petition as more of a political than a legal move. Of the 83 candidates who submitted their applications to the electoral body, only 12 have been approved. The reasons given by Elections Cameroon (ELECAM) for the disqualification of the 7-to-1 range from incomplete files, non-payment of the required deposits to multiple candidacies from the same party. Still in Africa, 6 people have been killed after a light aircraft belonging to a medical charity crashed in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, according to a local official. Charity Amref Flying Doctors said Kasena plane took off from Wilson Airport afternoon and was en route to Hargeisa in Somalia when it crashed and burst into flames at a residential building in Nairobi's Githurai area. Kiambu County Commissioner Henry Wafula said 4 people on the plane were killed, including doctors, nurses, and the pilot, as well as another 2 people on the ground, while 2 others were seriously injured. Investigators have been dispatched to the scene of the crash to establish its cause. The plane lost both radio and radar contact with air traffic control just 3 minutes after takeoff, the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority said. Also in Africa, the Zimbabwean government has dismissed claims of dangerous pollution in the Copper Belt mining region following safety concerns raised by the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy had issued a health alert ordering the immediate withdrawal of its personnel in Kitwe Town and nearby areas due to concerns of widespread contamination of water and soil linked to a February spill at the Sino Metals mine. The spill happened when a tailings dam used to store toxic waste and heavy metals collapsed into the Kafue River, a key drinking water source, following heavy rain. The U.S. Embassy said there was new information that showed the extent of hazardous substances. It warned that beyond the contaminated water and soil, contaminants from the spill mine tailings may also become airborne, posing a health threat if inhaled. Zambia's government spokesperson Cornelius Mwetewa hit back, saying the laboratory results show that pH levels have returned to normal in the area and the water was safe to drink. And moving to judicial matters, the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS Court of Justice says it has delivered a total of 487 judgments and 147 rulings out of 748 cases filed before it since its inception in 2001. The Community Court announced this in Abuja while giving an official update highlighting its 24-year judicial statistics and continued commitment to human rights and the rule of law. The figures underscore its pivotal role as a principal judicial organ for legal redress and human rights protection in the region. While reinforcing its commitment to regional justice dispensation, the court emphasized that its judgments have a profound impact across the West African sub-region. The court noted that this year alone, from January to July, it registered Mr. Itodo, who said that of political actors in punishment. INEC had on Monday cautioned political parties and candidates against engaging in premature electioneering activities ahead of the 2027 general elections, declaring that such actions are in clear violation of the Electoral Act. The Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Rotimi Oyekomi, said the Act contravenes Section 91, Subsection 1 and 95, Subsection 1 of the Electoral Act. INEC says it has begun shortlisting associations qualified for the next stage of political party registration, noting that the number of applications has now risen to 151. INEC said it would unveil its shortlist immediately after the 16th August by-elections. National Commission and Chairman of the Commission's Information and Voter Education. Now in security, The Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services Board has approved sanctions against dozens of officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service. The move follows the conclusion of a review. Additionally, 42 personnel received official warning letters as corrective measures. The board also approved the compulsory retirement of 8 officers exonerated system. The public statement noted that the sanctions were based on recommendations from the board's disciplinary and general purpose committee after extensive investigation reiterated its commitment to maintaining high ethical and professional. The Commissioner of Police in Abia State, element in the state. Mr. Issa gave the charge in Umuahia while handing over 6 newly reformed the newly established Abia State of combating crime and responding promptly to the security needs of Abia people. In education, a statement issued by to recheck after 24 hours from now. Moving over to health, a bill proposing the establishment of an agency to combat quackery. Mr. Aneke confined his comment to the overall merits and principles of the bill, adhering to parliamentary procedure. He explained that the bill aimed to create a dedicated list for the 2025 Men's Ballon d'Or football's most prestigious individual honor. Egypt's Mohamed Salah will have of Nigeria's impressive chemistry at the pool party on Thursday night, where Sultana 25 was seen dancing and twerking for Queen 21, who spent most of the night with her. Some fans on social media immediately began tipping them for a romantic relationship. The Trump administration is doubling to $50 million a reward for the arrest of Venezuela's president Nicolas Maduro, accusing him of being one of the world's largest narco traffickers and working with cartels to flood the U.S., including a high-profile construction tycoon, over their alleged involvement in the building of a skyscraper that collapsed and killed scores of workers during a powerful march of acts of misconduct and indiscipline. We also told you that the West African Examinations Council West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASI to recheck their results on its official portal within the next 24 hours. That was the news. For breaking news and eyewitness reports, please call 0703 043 7110. Thanks for joining us. I am Aneke.
Zenzile Miri, nicknamed Mama Africa. She was a South African singer, songwriter, actress, and civil rights. Born March 4, 1932 in Johannesburg to Swazi and Xhosa parents, was associated with various musical genres such as Afro-pop, jazz, and music world. Makiba's career flourished in the United States and she released several albums and songs, her most popular being Pata Pata 1967. Along with Belafonte, she received a Grammy Award for Best Folk Recording for their 1965 album An Evening with Belafonte Makiba. Makiba was among the first African musicians to receive worldwide recognition. Despite her cosmopolitan background, she was frequently viewed by Western audiences as an embodiment of Africa. She was also seen as a style icon in both South Africa and the West. On 9 November 2008, Makiba fell ill during a concert in Castle Volturno near Caserta. She suffered a heart attack after singing her hit song Pata Pata and was taken to the Pinter Grand Clinic where doctors were unable to revive her. She was 76.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
To be a man is not to be hard, but to be whole. A true man feels, weeps, protects, dreams. He does not hide behind silence. He speaks with strength and softness. He carries responsibility, yes, but also joy. He provides, but he also hugs. He's not just a builder of homes, but a nurturer of hearts. A man is not less when he leans on others. He is more when he uplifts them. In truth, in tenderness, in integrity, that's where manhood truly begins.
There are two types of kola nut produced in Nigeria: kola nitida, otherwise called goro, and widely eaten in northern part of Nigeria. Kola acuminata, also referred to as Igbo kola, is of local origin and occupies an important position in social, religious, and sacred ceremonies in Igbo society. It is seen as a vital and sacred fruit in Igbo land and serves as the major instrument of prayers connecting the ancestors. It cements discussions and also the fundamental bedrock of philosophy and proverbs. It is a symbol of welcome, unity, and peace. If kola nut contains one cotyledon, it is regarded as dump kola nut and thrown away. Kola nut with 4 cotyledons represents the 4 Igbo market days: Eke, Orie, Afo, and Nkwo. If kola nut contains more than 6 cotyledons, it signifies blessings and wealth, and it is celebrated. There is also another type of Igbo kola nut called Ojugo, which is referred to as the king of Igbo kola. The reproductive organ of the kola nut is referred to as the tongue, and it is removed after prayers and thrown to the spirit of the ancestors.
Ibai, ekele m ọjụ kwara ihe eji agọ ndụ ndụ a na-atọka onye anabara nke ya na onu agwọ ibe anyị adị nọ ogologo ndụ arụ ike na ọdụmma ihe eji ene ndụ anya na onye nwere ihe eji ene ndụ anya na ịrụfụta nwere ya ị mara na nsogbu riri ya olise bụ anyị na-ekele gị Chukwu okike onye ogologo ndụ na ogologo anya na-ahụ ndụ na ọchịchị anyị na-ekele na-ekele gị maka tata na-ayọ maka echi maka na ọsọ gị maka eme echi anya mara na anyị adị ka echi na echi anaghị agwụ agwụgwụ na ihe ya adịrị anyị mma ndị be anyị